Hello and welcome back to Fallout 76. Today I am on the public test server, also known as the PTS, and we just got a brand new one. Now this is going to be for the March update, the one that'll bring us the playable ghoul, but I'm not going to touch on that today because I haven't actually touched the content at all. I'm actually going to talk about changes coming to pistols because there's actually quite a lot of them and it's positive stuff. So first off, we've got combat rebalancing. Many pistols have been modified to incorporate the damage that they deal via perks. So basically what you have with Gunslinger and Gorilla in the live game right now, the damage you get from those cards is actually baked into the base damage of pistols now. And those perks will no longer offer a pistol-specific increase to damage. In addition, some pistols have received a further increase to their base damage. So pipe gun, pipe revolver, pipe bolt action, laser gun, ultrasight laser gun, plasma gun, and enclave plasma gun. So in addition to getting the perk damage baked into the base damage of the gun, these have received an additional amount of damage. It doesn't say how much though. All right, so now we have some base damage changes. So this is the base damage of weapons at maximum level before they've been modified or anything like that. So the 10mm goes from 29 to 45, 44 revolver, 72 to 132, alien blaster, 37 to 59, black powder pistol, 216 to 347. Wow, that's quite a lot. Crusader pistol, 35 to 56, circuit breaker, 40 to 64, salvage assaultron head, which you will not be seeing me test, 62 to 95. Western revolver, 84 to 157. The gamma gun, 60 to 85. Gauss pistol, 115 to 195. Single action revolver, I mean, it gets a massive boost, 82 to 184. This is actually the more powerful revolver now. The Western has been stronger. Single action has always been, you get punished with the reload, but the damage you don't get compensated for it. Now you do. And the pipe revolver from 70 to 85. So that's a small increase in the pipe revolver. We are also getting some AP cost changes to the weapons as well. So the pipe gun, the base AP goes from 21 to 13, but you no longer get reduced AP costs from it being automatic. In the past, or actually in the way the live version of the game works right now, if you make a pipe gun or 10mm pistol automatic, the AP cost goes down by 50%. That's no longer the case. They've just reduced the base AP cost down, and it's the same whether it's automatic or semi-automatic. I think that's what they did to the railway rifle a while back. I think that was the change made there. But 10mm pistol goes from 20 to 15. Same thing, doesn't benefit from automatic receiver any more than that. Circuit breaker, 20 to 16. 44 revolver, 35 to 20. Now it says 44 revolver. Do we have a 44 non-revolver in the game? I don't think we do. Not that I know of. Anyway, 35 to 20. Alien blaster, 20 to 17. Crusader pistol, 20 to 16. Combat shotgun, we don't care about that. Western revolver, 35 to 22. Gauss pistol, 35 to 18. So that's a pretty good drop. Plasma gun, 25 to 16. Plasma gun, that's a little misleading, and I'll talk about that in a bit. Enclave plasma gun, 25 to 18. Oh, I didn't realize. Okay, so it's actually more Enclave, which makes sense, right? Enclave plasma does more damage, so the AP cost is higher. That's kind of interesting. Gamma gun, 30 to 18. Pipe revolver, 25 to 16. Gunther's big iron, 35 to 30. Laser gun, 25 to 16. Ultrasight laser gun, 25 to 14. Okay, so ultrasight laser gun, higher fire rate, lower damage than a regular laser, and you get reduced AP. Okay, that's kind of cool. Single action revolver, 35 to 24. And there's also some changes to critical hits. So, weapons VATS critical damage multiplier changes. These are the base VATS critical damage multipliers for each weapon. Mods, perks, and other buffs can further increase these values. So, 10mm pistol, this only affects when it's as a semi-automatic. So fully auto, I'm assuming that just means it's the same. So semi-automatic, the multiplier for critical hits goes from 2 to 2.5. Circuit breaker from 2 to 2.75. The 44 from 2 to 2.75, alien blaster 2 to 2.5, black powder pistol 2 to 2.75, crusader 2 to 2.5, single action 2 to 2.75. Okay, so single action has a pretty good multiplier too. Salvage assaultron head 2 to 3. I still don't care. I'm not using that. Or a fuse. Western revolver 2 to 2.75, gamma gun 2 to 2.75, Gauss pistol 2 to 2. Okay, they're all 2.75. Pipe gun is 2 to 2.5. So just like the 10mm, that's only when it's semi-automatic. And the pipe revolver 2 to 2.75. So basically all the pistols looks like they're being designed to be used for critical hits. So because the critical hit damage you're doing is more than it was in the past. So that's awesome. And we're also getting sneak damage multiplier changes as well. So the 10mm pistol, the sneak damage goes from 2 to 2.5. Alien Blaster 2 to 2.25, Crusaders 2 to 2.5, Pipe Bolt Action 2 to 2.75, and the Pipe Gun 2 to 2.5. Wow. So sneak and critical damage seems to be what you want to do for your pistols. And there were some perk changes, but I'm only going to go over the ones that affect pistols. So we have Concentrated Fire. So you no longer get limb targeting, which is good. You now get it automatically if you have Perception of 5 or more. So being able to target limbs is just something you'll be able to do if your perception is, 5 or better, which is nice. And fix the damage bonus not increasing per shot. I didn't realize it wasn't doing that, so that's a good change. And the per shot effects are now limited to 20 stacks. So I guess per shot will keep going up to 20. Wow, that's pretty good. That should be good against bosses, I would guess. Then we have Gun Fu. Fix an issue where Gun Fu was doing much more damage than intended. I didn't realize that was happening. But the damage buff goes from 10, 30, 60, which is 10%, 30%, 60%, as you switch from more and more targets, to 30, 60, 90. So that got a buff, actually, which is nice. Then we have Gorilla. So Gorilla has a new effect. Each rank adds range damage to close enemies. So rather than just giving you a damage buff to automatic pistols, it doesn't do that anymore. It just adds range damage to close enemies. And we'll look more at these cards, actually. We'll actually look at the cards, too. We have Gorilla Expert. The rank has been reduced to, Gorilla, the ranks are the same. It still is a rank 3 card. Gorilla Expert rank reduced from 3 to 1, but it now costs you 2 perk points. And the new effect it has, you gain plus 5% reload speed per onslaught. And I think onslaught is like furious, so per hit on the same target. I think that's what it is. I'm not positive though. It's not in the help menu yet either, but I think that's what it is. With ranged weapons. Oh, and that's another thing. So these perks actually don't affect with Gorilla and Gorilla Expert. They're no longer exclusive to pistols. They work for any ranged weapons. So that's a really great change. So even if you're not using pistols, if you're using any kind of gun at all, this affects you, which is fantastic. Gorilla Master, the ranks are reduced from 3 to 1, but it still costs 3 perk points. The new effect is gain plus 3% damage to close enemies per onslaught attack with ranged weapons and plus 3, so up to, 3%, I guess times 3, so 9%. What it doesn't say is what close enemies are. So I don't know how close you have to be for this to be, what is considered close. And now we have the Gunslinger perk. It is still a rank 3 card, that hasn't changed, but the new effect is each rank adds ranged damage to weak spots. So that's a really nice change. Any kind of ranged weapon, you equip this card, do more damage to weak spots. Gunslinger Expert ranks are reduced from 3 to 1, but it becomes a 2 point, the cost is 2 perk points. The new effect is plus 3% fire rate per onslaught stack with ranged weapons, plus 3 stacks. Then we have Gunslinger Master. The ranks have been reduced from 3 to 1, but it is a 3-point card. You gain, the new effect is plus 3% damage to weak spots per onslaught stack with ranged weapons, plus 3 max stacks. And Mr. Sandman, that's another one. That gives you sneak damage. I think it's silenced weapons off the top of my head. I think it's silenced weapons. You gain a damage bonus at night in the live game. This no longer is the case. So sneak damage, it says suppressed. I think it says silenced weapons on the card. We'll look at it. But that night is no longer a requirement. So this gives you a bonus all the time, which is a fantastic change. Then we have Pack and Light, which was reduces the weight of pistols, I think is what it does now. Rank reduced from 3 to 1, and your action points regenerate faster when you're not encumbered. So basically, if you're not encumbered, this gives you increased AP refresh rate, which is a good thing. All right, so let's have a look at some of these perk cards. So we have Awareness, where you gain more VATS accuracy based on perception. So right now, my perception, it's not crazy high on this character. It's pretty low because I have everything. I'm just running pistols right now, so I don't really need much there, but I do have perception of 21. And if you look at the Pip-Boy, it shows awareness plus 23% VATS accuracy. And I did test this earlier, and it's actually additive. So rather than being, say your VATS accuracy was 50%, it wouldn't be, 23% of the 50. It would actually be 23% on top of that. So it would go from 50 to 73. So it's actually a really good bonus. So we've got Gorilla Expert. I'm just going to show the perks that I'm not going to use, and then I'll show the ones that I'm actually going to use for the weapon tests. So we have Gorilla Expert, plus 5% reload speed per onslaught attack, plus 3% or plus 3 max stacks. Obviously, this could be helpful, but I have limited points under agility. It's actually pretty crowded. It has been, and it still is. So I had to make choices, and I decided the extra reload speed, probably not. It could be helpful, but for most of the guns, it's not really something I need. Then we have plus 3, this is a Master Gorilla, plus 3% damage to close enemies per onslaught attack, plus 3 max stacks. This looks like it'd be a good one to have, but I just don't have room for it. Oh, Mr. Sandman, yes, it does say silenced weapons, but now you do just silenced weapons, do an additional 100% sneak damage. That's pretty nice. This is I think this is a really good card for sneak, for sneak damage. Yeah, an expert gunslinger has turned into gunslinger expert, plus 3% fire rate per onslaught attack, or onslaught stack rather. This was one, I mean, I guess it's fine to have, but I made other choices. So here's the perks I chose. I took Gunslinger Master, which is plus 3% weak spot damage per onslaught attack, plus 3 max stack. So extra weak spot damage, good thing I think. Gunslinger, so here's the extra damage. At rank 3, your ranged weapons do plus 20% weak spot damage. So they're really going all in on these cards for weak spot damage. And then Gorilla, we have this one. You do 20%, plus 20% range damage to close enemies. So I don't know what close means, but I figure if they're really close to me, I probably want to do more damage. So can't hurt. So now it's time to shoot some stuff. So we're going to check out the single action revolver first, because I think the changes to this are probably the best out of all of the changes. So this one is anti-armor with extra critical damage, faster reload, and I actually put the pinpointers effect on it as well. I just wanted to go we're just gonna go all in on weak spot damage. Although that one is when targeting limbs, but still. But look at that damage, 258. So no weapon cards giving it extra damage. It's just, that's the base damage now, which is, and it is, I do have it primed, which does increase the damage a little bit, but still, 258 is a big improvement. It's at least 100 more than what I was getting before with it. So that's fantastic. So let's see how we do. Now, awareness definitely makes this Super Mutants a lot better, because heads were really tough. And look at that. We got the awareness, so we see all that with the weakness and all that. But getting that kind of damage on that accuracy on a Super Mutant's head is pretty good. Let's do that. Oh, also on the armor. One note on the armor while I'm thinking about it. I did put the, what do we have? Limit breaking. That's what I was trying to think of. So I put limit breaking in all of these. So I should be able to do a crit every other shot, even though my luck is nowhere near 33, just because I want to do crits more often. So let's see, we've got fast reload. It's still pretty slow, but at least now on the single action, we're being rewarded. Look at that damage, that's great. We're being rewarded for for that slow reload with crazy good damage. The critical hits are no joke, even the regular hits. That one's level 100, there we go. Let's do a crit to him. 2,000, pretty good. There we go, nice. Yeah, it's pretty, I'm impressed. Single action, I've always liked the feel of it. It's just the damage has always been really underwhelming, and they have finally rectified that. I mean, just one-shotting everything, sometimes with a crit, sometimes with a not. So yeah, that's pretty good. All right, just for these last few enemies, let's look at Gunther's Big Iron. I checked this out earlier, and honestly, I'm not able to put a 4th star on it, which does make a difference. And I think that's probably the biggest weakness of this, because the damage should actually be pretty decent. But the fact that I can't get a bonus to limbs because I can't add a 4 star to that really hurts this weapon. Plus with a 2-shot, it feels, okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I mean, it's definitely an improvement over the single action just got so much better. I think out of all the weapon updates, this, at least, this go round so far, this one definitely received the most love. And it needed it as well. Oh, there's our long lost mutant hound right there. They tend to be pretty tanky, but yeah, not a problem at all. All right, still with Gunther's Big Iron. Let's see how we do against glowing gulpers. Gulpers, wow, 2 shots. I mean, gulpers are pretty tanky just in general. So let's see, critical maybe. There we go, critical hit, nice, not too bad. Yeah, the Western revolver used to be the top dog when it comes to revolvers, but now it's actually quite a bit less damage than the single action, which is, I think, appropriate. But this one's just anti-armor, extra critical. That 3rd star really doesn't do anything, and no 4th star. But the Western, I thought, always hit pretty hard. In terms of all the revolvers, it probably needed the least help. Of course, now it might actually be lagging compared to other things. But still, 2 shots for robot, not too bad. And of course, this benefits from being able to reload all of the shots at once. All right, let's see. We got a headshot, critical hit there. Pretty good. Uh-oh, we've got a... I mean, this is okay. It's funny. Like, the Western was always my go-to if I want to do a revolver, but I don't think that's going to be the case anymore. I like the way the changes they made to the single action. Pretty good critical hit damage, though. Fusion cores. Oh, that's another change. It's not related to pistols at all. So I didn't mention it, but I'll mention it since fusion cores just, there we go. Come on, fire. There we go. Fusion cores, if they are charged at 100%, will go in the ammo box. So fusion and plasma cores, I think. And I think it applies to ultrasight and regular. So the cores, basically, if they are at 100% charge, they will go in the ammo box, which is a good thing. I think that's enough of the revolvers for now. So I've got a laser pistol, and this one is automatic. Yep, it's aristocrats with extra critical damage, Reduced AP cost, again, no 4th star. I don't think I have 4 star in anything but that single action. And you can see the damage is 79. That's not really that high when you consider this is aristocrats, and I have 5 points for science. So I'm getting because the science perks still do buff energy guns, pistols, and rifles. So the damage there, I'd say, is still a little bit on the low side. But you can see that AP cost down at 7. In the live version of the game, the AP cost on this, I believe, is either 10 or 11. I can't remember which. But that's a big drop, which is pretty nice. So the AP cost is low. Let's see what the damage feels like. Thruster. There. I mean, the damage feels okay, but it doesn't really feel... I mean, honestly, this doesn't feel... I would say better. It feels just kind of similar to what it is on live. So it's just okay. But the range is... I mean, the range on these isn't that high, and I would actually like to see the laser rifle get... Or the laser gun, rather. I would like to see the buff to be more... Maybe up another 50% from where it is. When you just consider the short range and... I mean, the AP cost is nice, though. I mean, that is one of the things. With the changes to AP cost, this is now one of the lowest cost options. Because for the automatic weapons, anyway, most of the changes result in a higher AP cost. And I'll show that on the 10mm pistol and the pipe gun. But the AP cost is actually higher for the automatic version of those weapons than it was. So this is pretty much the only thing that's got a reduced AP cost. Okay, so plasma guns I'm not going to be testing out, and the reason why is because they are still a work in progress. So it did say that the AP cost on plasma guns has been reduced. The way I like to use plasma guns is automatic, and so there's still a problem with that. You can see with a short barrel, the way this is, the AP cost is 8, but if I put an aligned automatic barrel on it, it raises the cost up by 4, which, you know, not that big of an improvement. Another thing, if you were to make this a pistol, usually forceful stock would reduce the AP cost. In this case, it's adding another 4. So the AP cost on these things is still, like, the mods that would normally reduce AP cost are actually adding to it, which is the way it is in live game. That's just something that's been around for a long time, which is why these are very, very frustrating to use in VATS. So I'm not going to be testing these. Hopefully that gets addressed later on in the PTS. And at that point, then we'll have a look at them. All right, so now let's look at some sneak attack damage. We have a 10mm pistol here. It is quad with extra critical damage, reduced AP cost, and I have it modified as an automatic. That is one of the nice things I like about this change is I don't have to have one set of perks. I don't have to decide, am I going to go automatic or semi? I can just carry a range of pistols, and I'm getting the maximum damage out of all of them. So that's probably the best thing to come out of all of these changes. But if I'm using a 10mm pistol, I do prefer to use it as a stealth weapon, which I really like. Let's see, let's do some headshots there and some headshots there. I mean, I will say with sneak damage, this actually feels pretty good. I would say it definitely feels like a little bit of an upgrade. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, I can't really do a side-by-side, you know, have switch back and forth between the live and the PTS pretty easily. But I mean, I'm taking care of them pretty easily as a, you know, in stealth. And I do kind of like having the awareness. I mean, eventually I'll get used to looking at it and you can actually see the specific weaknesses. All right. Apparently I'm not so stealthy. Oh, that's, I think the turret is blind firing. Something is oh, there we go. Shooting me from there. So, and if I had put, there's no 4-star on this. So if I had put pinpointers on the, not pinpoint, yeah, pinpointers. I put pinpointers on this, that would be a lot more damage actually. And I'm also not using Mr. Sandman. If I was using Mr. Sandman, that'd be another bonus 100% sneak damage. So overall, this is actually working out pretty well. Yeah, base damage at 52, which was the most I could get before if I had all of the perks maxed out. So big improvement. And also on the 10mm pistol. So we have the AP cost at 7, even with reduced AP cost legendary effect. I think that was, it was either down at 3 or 2. Another change, which I don't know if it's intentional or not, but normally on the right-hand side, in the, you know, when we're looking at this view, you'd actually see all the mods on the weapon, which we're not seeing. So I don't know if that's intentional or not, because I really do miss seeing that. But yeah, the AP cost for an automatic version of this is higher than it used to be. Next up, we've got this pipe pistol. It is automatic. Yeah, I have it modified as automatic. It is quadruple ammo capacity with faster fire rate and reduced AP cost. And 20% AR penetration. That means I have a stinging magazine on it, I believe. But you can see the damage is 32, so quite a bit less than that 10mm pistol. But again, with sneak and you know, all the critical bonuses we're getting, this should still do a pretty fine job of taking care of things. So yeah, it's working out pretty well. I haven't done these outside of, you know, I haven't used these not sneaking. For me, these are, if I don't want to sneak, I tend to go for the, you know, like a revolver type weapon. That's what I kind of think of as a as a non-sneak weapon. And if I'm going to sneak, then these work really well. And we are in danger, so we're not sneaking. So what does that damage look like? We're still doing all right. Then we have a, let's see, this is a Crusader pistol. It is anti-armor, explosive, reduced AP cost. And I don't have any of the, I don't think I have any explosive perks going at the moment, which is fine. This is what the damage looks like without that is 64 ballistic, 39 fire, and 83 fire over 3 seconds. So pretty decent damage. And I do have it modified with a suppressor. AP cost is 10. I keep forgetting to list that. So AP cost was 10. I don't remember what it was before with this configuration, but for semi-automatic, 10 is super low. And I just like the fact that I can switch between automatic and semi-automatic, and I don't have to worry about whether I have the right, the right perks going or not. I think that's such a good change, and I'm glad that was done. All right, not a problem. I'm on fire, so it's a little bit of a problem for me, but I have some level of fire protection. Yeah, for sneak, this thing works great. I mean, Crusader's already good for sneak damage, so not really a change there. Got another guy hidden over here. Let's see what happens if we're not sneaking. Let's wake him up and see. Get our sneak damage to go away. Maybe we'll be visible. Are we? I don't know. Am I in danger? Am I not? Yes, now I'm in danger. All right, let's see what we do when we're hit. When we're completely. All right, still not a problem. Criticals take care of a lot of things. I think the last one I want to look at here is the Alien Blaster. This one is Aristocrats with extra critical damage, reduced AP cost, no 4-star. And I have it modified, looks like cryo. So the damage is 106 energy and 41 cryo. So that seems like it should be pretty good. Let's see how we do against the Scorch Beast now. Alien Blaster, I believe, is a silent weapon. So we should be able to do sneaking, assuming I can stay hidden. It can be kind of tough. You can see that concentrated fire, though. The percent hit really cranks up quickly. So pretty nice there. And let's see how we do. Okay, that's pretty decent damage. Actually, not too bad at all, really. And the nice thing about the Alien Blaster is the ammo capacity. It holds 30 rounds. And yeah, what was the AP cost? AP cost is 12. All right, and that is different. I think it's 16 on live. I think that's the number, is 16. I could be wrong. So let's just run around, shoot some things. We don't need to be, what are we fighting? Oh, we got robots over there. All right, maybe we can fight some robots as well. Up here, do that. Take care of the Scorched Beast. No, that's actually pretty easy. We've got Robot and Scorched. There we go. So far, I'm actually feeling pretty confident with the. Uh-oh, this sounds like an Assaultron. Not really good for me. I'm playing VATS. Apparently, Assaultron doesn't care. Wants to. There we go. Not a problem either. So I think that gives you a pretty good idea on the improvement coming to pistols. I can't do every single pistol, otherwise this video would be way too long. I can't really do a deep dive into every single one either. So this is just meant to be a broad overview just to let you know what the changes, at least what the changes look like right now. Again, this is slated for a March release, and I'm sure there'll be changes here and there before it actually gets to the live version of the game. But I'm definitely a fan of the direction that things are headed in terms of pistols and damage cards overall. It seems like the trend is going to be to get rid of weapon-specific damage cards and just make the cards do just fun things like extra weak spot damage, things like what's happening with the pistol cards. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit one of the buttons, and I hope you'll join me in the next one. Thank you very much.